Welcome to Wouldn't Be a Drama GL podcast. My name is Jazz, and I am joined by lovely Linda. Linda, how are you this fine Saturday morning?
You have to say adorable, Jazz.
I am not adorable, so I'm not going to say that.
Well, I don't think I'm lovely, so, if
Listen,
you say,
Linda.
No, we're not doing that. I'm lovely, Linda, and you're adorable, Jazz. Unless we have to come up with an A word.
We have to come up with a J
word.
word.
Yeah,
J word. Yeah, alliteration. Maybe I'll comment on Spotify can come up with something for me.
What if they say, jaded Jazz?
Jaded Jazz? I mean, that would be accurate.
That's pretty cool, though.
No, it's
Jaded
not.
Jazz.
Jaded is not a good word.
The definition's not good, but it sounds cool.
It does sound cool. No, welcome to Wouldn't Be a Drama, a GL Drama podcast. We are going to be talking about Pluto, episode 6. Oh my god, episode 6.
Guys.
Some stuff happened in episode 6.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking not so much, but a lot, I guess, not a lot happened, but...
Some questions were answered.
Some questions. Yes.
Definitely some questions were answered.
So
oh my god, sorry. I'm reeling because I was right about some stuff.
Okay.
I'm so reeling.
Okay,
I'm so reeling.
We should hop into it then. So
yes.
In episode 6, part 1, we saw basically a flashback of Oon and her crew.
Mm.
Her what do they call them? I don't know. Was it motorbike crew? Motorpunks. There you go.
Yeah.
Motorpunks crew. Yeah, and we saw Ben's mom as well. We got an introduction to that.
Yeah.
With his mother, adorable relationship. Yeah, so we kind of saw, that with Oon and her friends that what were they doing? They were helping Ben's mom, I guess, kind of run.
Yeah, do some laundry and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she was feeding them some food and talking about them going to college. Yeah, I gave them some money, talking about them going to college and they needed to study and stuff. And then Ben kind of confesses to everyone. He's like, I don't know if I want to go to college. He's like, I'd rather just work and help my mom out. And everyone's shocked. They're like, have you thought about this? Like, this is what your mom has been working so hard for this whole time, is to send you to college. And he's like, I want my mom to be able to live comfortably, and I can't do that if I'm in college, because then we're both going to be not really struggling, but working harder than we need to be, I guess.
Exactly.
So he's like, yeah, I'm going to become a mechanic, and I'm going to help my mom out. And that kind of gets Oon thinking, too, I think, because you kind of see her reaction a little bit, and you can tell that she kind of doesn't really want to go to college either. Like, she does, but she doesn't. But she'd rather help her grandma out in other ways, considering she has to pay for her sister to go to college, too. Like, it's not just one kid that her grandma has to support, it's 2. And yeah, we go to Oon and her grandma. Oon comes in, and her grandma's, putting money aside for both of them. And Oon gets mad at her. She's like, I never said I wanted to go to cram school. And grandma's like, well, what else are you going to do? How else are you going to get into college if you don't go to cram school? Exactly. You're too stupid to get that on you out, basically.
Yeah, which,
It's just kind of bad.
Yeah.
Not good, grandma, but...
I guess you don't want to... I mean, her grandma called Oon stupid, and I feel like call a child stupid or whatever it is, I feel like that kind of, disheartens them, because, they're like, well, maybe I am really stupid, if my grandma doesn't believe in me, why should I believe in myself, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but we learn, as to why, Oon, I mean, we find out why she graduated college late.
So late, yeah.
Yeah, and why, the reason why she graduated college late. And, I think, in that conversation, because I cried, you guys. I cried watching the conversation with her and Granny. But yeah, we'll go into that. I don't think that was the part after, right? Was that the next one?
No.
Okay.
But, I mean, we can go ahead and talk about that now if you want to.
Yeah, since we're already talking about her.
Yeah, we're already talking about grandma, so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, later on, Oon comes home from work, and grandma's sitting in the kitchen, and she Oh my god, this part, I really did almost tear up during this part. Yeah, grandma starts talking about, like, pretty much saying that she's a bad grandmother for stuff that's going on with with
Blaming
Oon.
herself.
Blaming herself, and she's like, I took your college certificate to Mr. Paul to see if he could get you a good job, and he told me that your certificate was fake. She's like, what the hell? What? Like, why have I been working so hard for you to fake your college certificate and everything? And yeah, they have an emotional moment, and Oon pretty much tells her like Oon is not your only granddaughter, basically. Like, I'm here too, and you put all your focus on Oon. Like, I decided to just work instead to help you put her through college and help you do this and do that and take care of yourself. And she's like, your body aches all the time. Your vision is not that great. You keep getting scammed by customers. You forget to
cheap medicine.
Yeah, you get cheap medicine, which could cause kidney failure because you don't do your research about it. She's like, you forget to close the windows at night sometimes. And she's like, I made my own choice, and I chose to work instead of go to college. But she's like, I did graduate, though. She's like, that part may be a lie, but I did graduate. And she goes to her room and gets her actual diploma and shows her grandma. And grandma's like, yeah, but you just graduated, last year? I think that's what she said, last year. She's like, so what have you been doing that whole time when you put on your college uniform and leaving the house? She's like,
been working.
I've been working.
Yeah, working, trying to help Granny, pay the bills, put her sister through school. But yeah, I think that this conversation, they really needed this conversation because I think like they had, they cleared up a lot of misunderstandings, and it was really open and honest. And I think they really poured their hearts out in this conversation.
Yeah. The acting was superb.
It was amazing. Like,
Namtan's crying. Namtan is a great crier.
She's a pretty crier, too.
She's a pretty crier, yes. I do not cry that prettily.
No.
I've had meltdowns like that before. I've had that exact scenario where I've had meltdowns like that before, but I don't look that good when I cry.
No, I know. Me neither. My hair probably is all messed up. I have snot running down my... But, yeah, no, so... what was really nice with that conversation is that... we're just going to fast forward a little bit. You see Granny at the hospital with Oom's laying there, and then, Granny's like, I have 2 good granddaughters. So obviously she acknowledged that, both of her granddaughters are great.
Oh, good, yeah.
And the thing is like, they're both great in their own way. But I'm glad that Oon, told Granny, like, you have 2 granddaughters, not just Oom.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, just... try to, like, acknowledge me a little bit more, but, yeah, I think that scene was really heavy.
I like that scene, too, in the hospital, when they're both in the hospital, and Oon is talking about, she's like, I have a dream now. She's like, I'm gonna be a writer. And Grandma's like, you hear that, Your big sister's finally growing up. She has a dream.
And so she was like, support her, and then
I like how Grandma said that, though. She's like, I'll support her too.
Yeah, that was really cute.
I was like, look at you, Grandma.
Look at your granddaughter go.
Look at you, Grandma. Right. You did a good job. You did do a good job. You could have supported her a lot sooner, but it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I think they both have, they're complicated. Like, their relationship was a little bit complicated, but I think obviously now, I think after this conversation, I think it's gonna get better. Mm-hmm. So glad that conversation was had, and it was had a little bit early on, and I'm glad that Granny's on board with Oon's dreams too.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, you see she's taking it seriously, because you see her at some point, she's like looking up, I think, YouTube videos on how to make money writing a novel. And she's trying to do her research. She's like, I need to make money off of this. Like, how am I going to do that? And yeah, she's putting the work in. And after that after that fight with Grandma about college and all that stuff, you know, she needs a bit of a shoulder to cry on. So who does she go see?
Yes.
She goes and sees her girlfriend May.
Of course, she goes to see May.
Yeah, and May's been trying to get a hold of her all damn day.
She has. I'm so glad though that Oon was open, you know, with May about her and Granny getting into an argument.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she was laying on her lap, and oh my gosh, when she said, I have a little sister.
Yeah. Yeah. She starts telling the story. She's like, I have a little sister.
And I was like, ooh,
I was like,
in that moment, is she going to?
Is
She going
this
to,
it?
but...
Is this it?
Yeah.
Nope. That
You know, she does it. She spins it a little bit, but...
She does, yeah.
So, she spins it just a little bit. Essentially, she doesn't really lie, but then she also doesn't really tell the truth.
Mm-hmm. It's half-truths.
But, yes, half-truth. And... You know, when she said, you know, I have a little sister, you can see in May's facial expression.
It changed a tiny bit.
It changed.
It's
so
a tiny bit. It's very subtle.
Yes, very subtle. So I think in that moment, it kind of piqued my interest. I was like, oh, wait. So May knew... Does May know all along that she had Oon has a younger sister? Because I guess in the way of her reacting, you know, when you're dating somebody, you wouldn't know whether they have a sibling or not, and if they don't, then you're surprised, like, oh, why didn't you tell me sooner? Or if, but vice versa. So, yeah, I was really shocked when she was talking to her, and she's like, yeah, I was just, and kind of went on about the story and seeing May's.
Yeah, and she's like, she's telling May that, like, her grandma's blaming herself for the way that she became, and May's like, and what's wrong with the way that you turned out? She's like, you're a delivery girl by day and a writer by night.
By night, yeah.
And you take care of your blind girlfriend.
Yes.
She's like, I think is pretty great. And Oom's like, yeah, is great, but and then she changes it. She's like, this is, you know. And then, like, May's trying to, like, tell her, like, you're doing well. Like, you're doing great. Like, don't put yourself down so much. Don't make yourself smaller. That's pretty much how she phrases it.
And I gotta say that, honestly, May is so good at comforting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's just good at being there for her girlfriend. She knows, you know, what to say. She knows when to speak. She's just so good.
Honestly, both of them are like that. Her
I agree.
and Oon are both like that, yeah.
Yes.
They're both givers. They
both are givers. And and you see just how good they know each other. You know, when... Fast forward just a little bit. When Oon saw May at the hospital, and she's like, you know, I'm like kind of done going through the motions. Like, I'm here for you. You know, my shoulder is here if you want to lean on me.
Yeah.
You know, so in that moment, I was like, wow, like they completely understand each other, like 100%.
They do.
You know, and man, that made my heart feel so good.
It's so good to see. Oh.
It is. It really is good to see.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we see when May is at the hospital, she's done visiting and Grandma. Yes. She's walking around, and yeah, she sees May and Ploy walk in, and she's like, May? And she tries to follow him, and she lost them for a minute. And she's like, where the heck did they go? I just saw them. And yeah, you see Ploy come out, and she's like, hello, what are you doing here? And she's like, I was visiting a friend. She's like, what are you pretty much doing here? She's like, how come May didn't tell me that she had an appointment? And so her employer's sitting there waiting, and you see May in the doctor's room getting her vision checked, and yeah, still blind, can't see anything. But when she comes out with Tone, like May's there and Oon's there, and May tells Ploy, she's like, I'm not gonna be able to go to your restaurant, and that makes Ploy very upset, and Ploy kind of just storms off, and May sends Tone to go deal with her pretty much, and her and May go walk and to go to leave, and yeah, we find out why May doesn't really want to go back home. It's because, well, she's blind, one. But it's a little bit more than that, too. It's like she doesn't want to face her friends.
Right.
She doesn't want She doesn't want pity from her friends because she's blind.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the one thing that she hates about this whole situation is that she's getting pity, and she doesn't want pity.
She doesn't want them to feel sorry for her.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, I really want to go. She's like, I want to go see her restaurant. But I don't want to deal with all that. Which is sad.
It is. It's really sad.
It's sad. Because she wants to be there for her friend, but she wants to try and protect herself too.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. I get it, but it's still sad. Poor man.
So, the hospital scene. Okay, so when Oon saw May, I really thought that Ton and Ploy, they were going to find out Oon's secret. So for some reason I thought like, as he was walking out to go follow Ploy, I really thought that they were going to end up like, I don't know, just like seeing Oon lay there or seeing her in the room or something, and then her being found out. Like that was my thought.
So I have something about that, but I'm gonna save my thought about that until the end. What you just said, I'm gonna save that till the end. So yeah.
Okay. But obviously, that didn't happen. So, and we clearly know. Well, I guess we could talk about that. Yeah, and when May and Oon had their conversation in the hospital about May not wanting to see her friends, essentially, because she doesn't want people to feel pity for her.
Right.
I think like we don't take that into perspective how somebody that's disabled, how they feel, because I guess that's like really the first initial reaction is that when somebody is disabled, you do feel bad for them.
Yeah.
And fast forwarding a little bit, when Oon and May had this conversation, when May was at was it her favorite like restaurant or her favorite, I don't know, like a bar or whatever?
Yeah, I think it was like a favorite bar. Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, she really explained it really well. When she was saying that, when you have people that are, you have two people that are musicians or they're busking, and then you have one that's really good. They're giving them, they're giving the person that's really good the money because they're good.
They're really good.
You have one that's disabled. It's not because they're good or not. It's because you feel bad because they're blind. And that wow, I was like, oh,
It makes you think.
It really makes you think, and it's crazy because like, not only am I watching this drama, obviously for its entirety, but it's like I also feel like I'm like learning lessons along the way,
right.
As well, and kind of like you said, it's making me think like, I guess in another perspective that I, wasn't used to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's been in that situation kind of where you see people like either begging on the street or busking. Like if the person's really good, a crowd gathers around and everything, and you give them some money. You get them a couple coins or $1 or $2 or whatever, and try to help them out. But if you see another person right next to them, just asking for anything, really, you might give them some stuff or you might not. And I've seen people do both. I've seen people give people who are begging money, and I've seen people who are disabled or anything like that, or people who just walk the other way and just don't even be bothered with it. And unfortunately, I've been guilty of that. I want to help people who are out there, but I don't carry money on me all the time either, so I can't. Yeah. But yeah, no, it does make you think, and that's why I like this drama so much. Like it's more than just a GL drama at this point.
It is. It really is like more than just meets the eye.
It's like a public service announcement as well.
Yeah, essentially, but the writing is so
it's
good.
So
the
good.
Directing, the acting is so good. Like, and it really, because like it keeps you on your toes. Like you really don't know what to expect the next episode. You really don't.
Right. But yeah, after May's like, I'm going to make people understand like what it's like or disabled people. Like, I'm gonna change the law about that. She just seems so determined and so gung-ho about it, and it's just like, this May. This May is the one that's gonna get shit done.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's so attractive to see.
Yeah.
It really is.
Absolutely.
Like, when May flips, like, when she's not, like, smiley,
like cutesy,
like,
smiley,
cutesy May, and she's like... And
workaholic, like lawyer May, yeah.
Right, when she's passionate
Advocate.
May. Yeah, advocate May. It's just like, dang. Film can do both.
Yeah.
Like, film is so damn good at her job.
Film is a great
Oh my
actress.
god. Yeah,
and then, and we see more of, like, her great acting when we go into the scene of her waking up when she
after her
just
accident.
had her accident. So she's just waking up, and then she, you see, like, basically in her point of view that when
It's just
her eyes are open, but it's fuzzy.
darkness. Yeah, it's just darkness.
Yes, it's just darkness. And you see that acting. Wow, like that's just
It's
I
so
don't
good.
even know, like, top tier acting.
She made me feel like I was going through it.
Yeah, it really
She
felt like that. I was like, oh my gosh, like like you said, it really felt like we were going through it.
Yeah, and when her friends came in to visit her, and she's like, I have no idea what's going on.
You guys,
and she
yeah.
panics. Well, even before her friends came in, like, as soon as the door opened, she thought it was
She thought it was Oom.
She wanted it to be but was
she
not
did.
there. Where the hell was
It was
We know where
Ploy
Oom
and
was.
her two other friends.
Yeah. I can't remember what their names are. Anne, I think one of them was Anne, and the other one's, I don't remember the other one's name. But, yeah, they just come in and talk, touch, and she's freaking the fuck out. She's
Which
like, I don't know.
makes sense, though.
It makes sense, yeah.
Who
'cause
you guys
can't
are, I don't-
see.
Yeah, all you can do is, like, hear, but at the same time, like, you're like, what is going on? And, like, in that perspective, it's too much. Obviously, it was,
It's
too much
overwhelming.
for her at that. Yes, there you go. Overwhelming, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and oh my gosh, yeah. But as much as these girls cry, I'm surprised they don't have headaches all the time. I would have a headache 24/7 with the amount of tears that they shed.
Yeah.
My goodness. But yeah, so after all that, May's like, I'm gonna change some stuff.
She's gonna change the world.
So we're gonna change the world. And yeah, that was it was a very powerful scene.
Very.
And it makes Oon want to help her in some way. Like the same way that she's helped her with her writing.
Exactly.
She wants to help
Realized
her with
her
this.
dreams.
Yeah, she wants to help her with this. But she doesn't know how.
Yeah. So we see her having a conversation with Payne.
Yeah. They're at the graveyard paying their respects. And before they start paying their respects, they have a conversation about it.
And this conversation, I think, you see Payne, she's a good friend because, like, although she has feelings, for Oon, she actually gives really solid advice. No, she's basically, like, maybe what she needs is not essentially, like, she needs, like, how you see her, basically she needs, what did she say? How...
She needs to see herself the same way that you see her. Basically.
Exactly. Yes. There you go. That was very powerful. And she's right. But yeah, all feelings aside, I like how Ping, was still able to give.
Ping is a good
solid
friend.
advice.
She really is a good friend.
She is. She's a really good friend. Yeah.
That
Scene, it made me
happy. It was funny too. Yeah, it was funny too because she's like, "You are so down for her."
Yeah.
And it's like,
she's like, "Stop talking about me. Let's talk about you."
Yeah, and
I don't want to talk about myself.
Because it was like, "How's your girlfriend?" And Peg's like, "You mean my ex?" I was like, "Yeah, how's she doing?"
Right.
She's like, "I don't know." She's like, "I think it's best not to talk to her right now. Like, we're not on talking terms at the moment. I think that's for the best." But yeah, she's like, "Let's talk about you since you're so in love."
Right.
Talking about me just kills the vibe.
Yes, and then we realized that it was Ben's mom's. It was for Ben's mom.
Yeah, they're doing the visitation, yeah.
Yeah, the visitation. Yeah, man.
It's just sad. It's like, oh.
So sad. Yeah,
Poor
because
lady.
he's,
Like
he's disabled and then his mom.
Pass, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to see Ben or not in this series.
No.
They talked about it a little bit last episode, but...
It did.
So I thought we were going to see him this episode, but I guess not.
And so we go into Jan and Pim. These two.
love
Oh man,
them.
these two make my heart flutter.
I know. That's so fun.
You know, Pim is helping Jan move.
She's like, this is how I spend my vacation, helping someone pack and move.
Exactly. She's like, you're just doing your civil duty, you know.
Yeah. She's like, it's your job to help people, so you're helping.
Right. Here you are. And you know, Jan was basically like, you know, Pim was like, you're obviously you're successful at such a young age. You know, you're moving into a
you got a house.
And like look at you. You know, I also want to get a house in the future. But essentially, you know, Jan's like, yeah, but I really, you know, don't want to move now. And Pim's like, what? Why? And then, you know, she's like, well, because you know that healed heart of yours. Like, I'm afraid that somebody's gonna come and take
that away. Like, I did all that work.
Yeah.
She's
And
like,
I was like, ooh, is this a confession? I was like, ooh. I was giddy.
I know. They're so cute. I love them.
And let me just say,
I love this coupling.
My God. In this scene, Pim, Kabuk, you guys. Okay, you know, Namdan film, they make me feel a way, okay? But you guys, I'm just sorry, but there's just something about Kabuk wearing the sleeveless shirt with her hair straight. Man, this woman. I'm sorry, but GMMTV needs to give her like a main role, and not a secondary role in a GL series, because I'm sure all of us would love to see that. You know, we need to send them this clip. Like a book. She's fine. All I could do was stare at her. I was trying to focus. I was like, man, I can't imagine. But yeah, that was my tangent about how fine I think she is. Okay, moving on. Anyways, next.
I figured I'd let you get that out.
Yeah,
You've been holding that in for 6 episodes.
Because as soon as I saw her,
yeah,
I was like, dang, she's fine.
Okay, so on that note.
Yeah, so then we have we saw Jan's new home.
Yeah, it's
which
okay.
They said it was a little home.
They
said it was little.
That's not little. That's not little.
That is a beautiful freaking home. I was expecting when they said little.
Yeah, it's a beautiful home.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to become fortune tellers. I think that's what our problem is right now. We need to become fortune tellers.
Maybe we should become fortune tellers. I think that's our next niche.
Yeah, but yeah, we get a scene when Oon calls Jan and asks for Ploy's number.
Yes.
And Jan's like, okay. So
yeah.
Okay. So we get that, and then we move over to what's the next scene? Is it
the scene where Oon surprises
May. Yeah, Oon surprises May.
Romantic.
Takes her to a place to listen to music, and we find out that Jan Pang set all this up for them.
Yes.
Like, help set all this up so that so that Oon can surprise May. I was like,
and it's so basically cute. Similar to how Ploy's restaurant is set up as well.
Yeah. Because May wants to go, but she doesn't want to go, but she wants to go. So Oon's like, all right, I'm a replicate it for you.
Yeah.
So you can see what it would be like.
Yeah. So freaking sweet, guys.
Oh, yeah. I will say though, during the scene where Oon has May sit down and Oon kneels in front of her, I was like, "Oh, you're gonna propose right now?"
Oh, is that really what you're? Oh.
No. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Okay.
I didn't think it was gonna happen.
Okay,
it was just a thought. I was like, "Oh, that'd be perfect right now." This would be the perfect proposal spot too. But yeah, so she tells her that she wants to help her, like, realize her dream and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then she starts singing. And then we get a whole little music video in the middle of the episode.
Literally, it was so cute.
It was so cute. Yeah, we just get a whole little
And you see how much
video.
they do for each other. You really do see how much they do for each other. And how much they care for each other. Yeah, definitely. They're both viewers for sure.
But what was really cute was afterwards, May tells Oon, she's like, "You're really good at singing, but there's probably going to be slow dancing at Ploy's, is it wedding? Is that what she said? At her wedding? Restaurant. She's like, have you practiced your dancing?" And that was so cute. I was like, oh.
And you know, I really thought that we were gonna get kiss scene from them.
I know, I did too.
Oh my god, because you know they were in close proximity after.
They tease us a lot.
They really freaking do, because like
really
you know
do. They
after
come so close every time.
Every time. Man, it's crazy. Like their chemistry is just insane. I can't even. Like these two. Just watching that scene of how close, not even when they're even in close proximity, but I don't know, like they're acting. Sometimes I feel like I'm just so immersed. And I'm like, oh my god.
You kind of forget that you're watching a show.
Yes, I really forget. I feel like everything around me is just black, and then all I see is just them. You know, like their chemistry is just so good, like that good.
It's so good.
It's like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
So good. Yeah.
Oh, so good. But yeah, then we get like a little fun scene with Jan and Pang.
And this scene is actually pretty important.
It is pretty
because,
important.
You know, obviously you have Jan. She's like, "So are you an Aries?" You know, and I'm like, not this girl trying to. Obviously, already knowing, you know, people's zodiac sign, but you know, she's like, "Are you an Aries? You know, you like to keep things to yourself or whatever." But also, Pang, she knows what's up, because she's like, "So you know, if you're a fortune teller, like, and you're trying to read me, let me read you. Why? You know, you are Oon's best friend. Yes, you're Oon's best friend, and I am Oon's best friend. So why are you helping? Oon?" And then actually, we can talk about it now. It was the preview for the next episode, but Jan was basically like, "You'll understand why." Like, later. You will understand why. And we can talk about this. I don't know if you want to go into it now, or we can talk about the conversation with May and her cousin, because I think that happens after.
We can talk about May and her cousin first real quick.
Okay, let's go.
Well, I mean, it's kind of all intertwined anyway. But yeah, after that, we see May and Tone in her closet, and her housekeeper is handing her some clothes because she's packing. And Tone's like, "Are you really taking her to go meet your friends?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Aren't you afraid that the secret will be exposed?" And I'm like, whoa, what secret? What secret?
I was confused, because
I was like, I had to rewind that back. Like, did he just say secret?
Yeah, because I was like, I did understand, because he said, "Aren't you afraid that the secret will be exposed?" Right?
Yeah.
So I was confused in that sense. I was like, what secret is he talking about?
Yeah. And so she's like, "I am." She's like, "But," and he's like, "Then why are you bringing her? If you really want to go, I'll take you." And she's like, "No." She's like, she wants to show people how beautiful her girlfriend is, and if I don't go, then I'll just be really mean. I was like, oh my god. I was like, May, come on.
Because he said that you've never taken anybody to meet your friends.
She's like, when your sight was perfect, you never brought around to see your friends.
Right.
And she's like, with the old I felt like I was in love with her past self. But with this even though I can't see, I know she's the one.
Yes. And
her cousin's like, "Are you sure you're not making another mistake?" and May's like, "I'm sure the person I love is Ai-oon."
And we're like, what do you mean? Ai-oon? So we're like, I mean, you know.
I tell you, I almost flew off my couch when I watched this.
I was like, so she knows.
She knows. She knew the whole time. Well, we don't know if she knew the whole time, but she knew for a while.
Yes.
She knew for a while.
But now my thing is, there's a lot of questions. How does May know that they're twins?
Okay, so I do have a thought about this. This is why I was going to keep it to the end.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Yep.
so my thought is, okay, well first let's just wrap this up. The next scene, Oon uncovers May's car, and it's a nice ass car. But she's like, "Are you sure you want me driving this car?" And May's like, "You're with this I trust you."
Right.
And it's like, okay. So
Ooh,
yeah, they're
right.
they're
like,
driving off. Yeah, they're driving off to I can't remember what the town's called, but they're driving off to Ploy's restaurant.
Right.
And then we get previews for next episode. But we'll talk about previews in a second. Yep. But yes, so my thought is, you asked how does Oon know that Oon? How does May know that Oon is a twin? Okay, so you remember when you said when they were in the hospital, you were wondering if they would run into each other, like her cousin would run into them and everything.
Right.
I don't know why we didn't think about this beforehand.
Okay.
Her cousin is a doctor at the hospital. Where was her sister?
At the hospital he works
at. So he would know if he would know that is there in the hospital in a coma. You would think, right? Okay,
that makes sense. But also, what if it was a different department?
I mean, yeah, but he's still a doctor. They talk. They're still doctors and nurses. Nurses gossip all the damn time. Okay. Yeah, you saw Secret of Us. Nurses gossip all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, my thought is he's a doctor at the hospital where is. Mm-hmm. He knows is there. He probably told May, like, a while ago, like, yo, is in the hospital right now. She's in a coma. Like, I don't know who you're with right now, but it's not Obviously, she has a sister. And May is a lawyer, so she probably has records. Like, she can get records for people. Mm. And she probably figured it out. Like, that has a sister.
That's what you think?
That's what I think. I think that her and her cousin pulled the strings with their different professions and figured it out.
Okay,
and May's just been keeping it a secret this whole time. Because I think May wants Oon to come clean. But she's like, well, if she's not going to, then I'll just play this up. For as long as I possibly can.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, here is my theory, and it's my theory from... Still the same theory from, like, I don't know, maybe episode 1 we were talking about, or 2 or whatever. Mm. I think that pretending to be Oon. I still think that. And why I think that is because, so, we have... Remember the conversation at the end of this episode where Pang's like, why are you helping? And Jan basically, she was like in due time you will understand. I think Jan knew that was pretending to be Oon. Now how May knows that she has a twin or they were twins, that I don't know. But for whatever reason, I think that May found out eventually later on that was pretending to be Oon. And also, when she said the car situation, she's like, this I trust. So I feel like May knew that her sister deceived her. Her sister deceived May. And obviously, I think that now that this is actually Oon and not right? But yeah, I think that and what is crazy is because essentially if you really think about it, the big picture, we have Oon pretending to be right? But then it would also be crazy if they had pretending to be Oon.
So you think before all this happened, when and May were together before, you think that was pretending to have Oon's personality
to be her.
Okay.
And how?
But still using her own name, obviously, but just pretending to be Oon herself.
Yes, and how that all works out, that I don't know. But I do think that pretended to be Oon, but using her name. obviously.
Okay.
But
I see where you're coming from. I don't know if I'm on board with it, but I do understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
The only reason I'm not fully on board with it is because of the way that May kind of makes seem like how she was in the past. Like, because, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't know. Because the way that May makes seem from the past is that past wasn't very attentive. But I guess that would still work because, I mean, doesn't know how her sister would be in a relationship, I guess. So, I guess it doesn't really matter that much.
Right.
And now that pretending to be is very attentive.
It's completely different. It's a whole other person.
Yeah, it's a whole other person. So, yeah, I mean, I guess your theory could still stand. I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so essentially, I think that...
Because kind of made be who she needed her to be, I guess.
Yeah.
In that moment. But yeah, so yeah, the preview for the next episode. The preview for the next episode. So we see... Well, actually, that's not even the end of it yet, because the doctor got his call from the detective.
Wait.
What?
Well, also think about it. Okay, because in the preview for the next episode, May says that she's like, I have to make her mine even if she knows the truth. Okay, but think about it. May didn't sleep on the same bed with
Yeah.
So why are you suddenly, now that it's you want to make her yours? So from the very beginning, for some reason, like, I think that she was always after Oon. And now, Does that make sense? Okay, because it's weird because it's so weird too, because it's like, how are you dating somebody for 3 years? Like, remember, we go back to this conversation.
Yeah.
And then, like, you don't have any intimacy or anything, but then all of a sudden, they've technically, it's Oon now. And then in the preview, she's like, I want to make her mine. And you're kind of like, huh? Technically, because they haven't really known each other for that long. Real Oon, and, obviously Oon and May. But,
right.
So you're kind of like, that's also strange, too. I just still feel like, are we, like, missing something is it just going over our heads? Like...
Yeah, the worst
now
part
I'm
is
questioning. Was May after Oon this whole time, and she just decided to date Oon?
She's like, I can't have the one I want. I guess I'll date the sister.
Right. Lord.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Because I don't... Okay, so depending on the moment where May found out... The moment where May finds out and realizes that that she's with right now is her sister.
Right.
Obviously,
but she's so okay with it. But the thing is, she's like, okay, Jazz, she's so okay with it, right? Because if I were deceived in that way, I would have been like, what the... Like, they're crazy. These twins are crazy. But tell me why she's okay with it being Oon. Because I think she wanted Oon from the beginning, but Oon pretended to be... How would that make sense? But she took on her name, though. Oon's name. Like, it's her, obviously. She pretended to be Oon, but then kept Oon, the name. I mean, her name. See, I'm confused. Because she's so okay with it being Ai-oon.
So I think that... so depending on when May figured it out that the that she's with is actually Oon.
Yes.
Obviously, she kept it a secret. She didn't outright confront her about it.
Right.
I think that she was just waiting for the opportunity for Oon to come clean. But since that wasn't happening, she wanted to just play it up and then do it on her own terms. Do it on her terms instead of Oon's terms. But I think along the way, feelings got involved and she started falling for Oon during that time. And so now that everything is coming out and she's taking her to meet her friends, she knows that she's in love with Oon and not I think that I think that she knows. I think that she's figured out that 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 she was with in the past is not good for her. But Oon is, because of the way that Oon treats her, now that May is disabled and everything, she's kind of realized, okay, if Oon was still here, not in a coma, if Oon was still here, she would not treat me the same way that Oon is treating me right now. And she fell in love with Oon, even though she was in love with Oon before in the past. But now she's in love with Oon because now she knows she's learning who Oon is, even though Oon is pretending to be Oon. She's in love with Oon.
Okay.
But she wants to tell Oon that she knows, like, I know that you're not Oon.
Right.
But I don't care because I fell in love with you anyway.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make you mine. Officially, I'm gonna make you mine as Oon, not Oon. Like, I want you to be my girlfriend as Oon, as Ai-oon, not as Obum.
Okay. So, here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where you're coming from, right? But then, okay, remember when she had that conversation with her cousin? He mentioned, are you sure you're not mistaking again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
He did say that, yeah.
So, what if this whole time, May... for some reason, let's just throw it out there. She saw both Oom and Oon. Didn't know their names. For whatever reason. And the person that really helped her was Oon, or whatever situation, whatever scenario, we don't know. Whatever scenario was actually Oon, right? But because her not knowing the name or anything, just knowing that they were twins. But she already, like, it's like love at first sight. She already fell in love with Oon. Okay. But Oom saw that and took advantage of it and was like, it was me, Oom. You know? And then, obviously, when you're... You know, they dated for a long time.
Yeah.
So maybe she was deceived by Oom, but then also May was mistaken because she didn't know. Like, she was like, oh, wait, maybe it was my fault because I thought it was the right person, but it was the wrong person this whole entire time.
Okay.
You know, because why would the cousin say that? But are you sure you're not mistaken again? Like, so she knows that. Okay. She obviously knows that she made the wrong decision the first time around and was like, oh wait, maybe I did get the wrong twin, because it's not adding up. The whole 3 years we dated, or whatever, for whatever reason it was, and then now that she has Oon, she's like, oh wait, it makes sense, like, because you're actually Oon, and this whole time Oon was pretending to be you.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. I do. I see where you're coming from. I guess we'll find out next episode. On the next 2 episodes, we'll find out. Yeah. I hate the fact that we have to wait a whole 7 days now.
I know. I hate it. I'm just, honestly, what's getting me through work is just...
Hey, at least this is a really short work week this week, though. We only have Monday, Wednesday, really Friday to work, and then we're off on Thursday for the holiday. And then I'm working on Friday. I don't know if you're working on Friday, but I have to. So
I'm off Thursday and Friday.
Oh, I hate you. I hate you so much.
Yeah.
It must be nice working for a company that cares about you. But yeah, and then Saturday. I mean, it's gonna be a fast week. Is what I'm saying.
It really will be.
Yeah. It'll be a fast week. Oh my gosh, this episode. I can't wait. I can't wait for this episode. But I love how in the preview though, when we see May introducing Oon to her friends, she's like, "This is my girlfriend Oon, and I will not tolerate anybody talking down to her." And I was like, respect.
Like, you tell them. You freaking like, tell them that that's your girl.
My girlfriend, and you will respect her.
My.
Yes. Love it. Love it.
Mic drop, penny drop, everything.
I love it. So you're telling me that if you had a girlfriend and she had a twin and both of them were deceiving you, you would not be You would be pissed to high L. Yeah. But, okay.
Here's the thing. Like, twins, they, you know, you have identical twins.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell, regardless if they look like, there's not one, I mean, they don't act alike, you know?
No, they don't.
Even in the way they walk, the way they...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... So, like, it would be obvious. It would be obvious. And that's why I think that May...
Knew from the
I think she found out later on. Yeah, yeah. That there was a twin. And she was introduced to Oon first, but then pretended to be Oon.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, well, so, do you have any last words, Jess?
I wish it was Saturday already.
I know, I wish we could fast forward.
I want it to be Saturday.
I know, this
so
was
bad.
a really freaking good episode, my god. I say that all the time, but it just gets better and better.
I did find that someone is translating the novel into English on Wattpad now.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have not read it. There's only like 3 chapters up so far. I have not read any of it. But I do have it saved for when the series is over. I'm gonna read it.
Yeah.
But I really want the hard copy of it to put on my bookshelf. So if anyone knows how we can find that, I don't even care if it's in Thai. Like, I just want the book.
I agree.
Yeah. So if anyone knows where we can find the novel so we can buy it, please let us know in the comments, because we would both really love to have it. And any of the series that are based off novels, really. I'd like the collection of them. That'd be great.
That would be freaking awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Even if it's in Thai, I don't care. I just want it.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. But also, we missed the part. At the end, her cousin gets a call from a detective about the investigation into the person who attacked her. But we don't hear anything after that. And then when they were driving to the spot, he tries calling May, and her phone dies. She doesn't answer.
So we do know
so
that
we're
it is
gonna find.
Coastal.
I think so. They didn't say the name. They just said the person that you asked me to investigate. But
it was Coastal, right? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously it's gonna be Coastal. So there's gonna be a big blow up with that, probably in the next couple episodes. Yeah. So I can't wait to see how that unfolds.
Yay. But yeah, you guys let us know down below what you guys think of this episode, because we sure thought a lot. We were yapping, okay? But listen, yeah, it was needed, because a lot happened in episode 6, and I just know that it's just gonna continue to get better. But yeah, you guys please follow us on Spotify, on our social medias. Check out our YouTube as well, and yeah, you guys can just find us on there. I'll have everything linked below. Any last words, Josh?
No. Thank you for watching. Leave us some comments down below. We would love to have some conversations with you guys about this episode, because a lot happened in this episode, the last half. So yeah, tell us what you guys think.
Exactly. We would love to hear
if you read the novel,
theories.
please don't. Yeah, if you read the novel, please don't spoil it. Please. And you guys have done a really good job of not spoiling. Anyway, so I don't feel like I need to tell you, but just in case anyone's new, please don't spoil if you've read the novel. Just tell us what you think is going to happen in the show, because it could be different. Never know. That's
true. They could have different theories than we do. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening, and we will see you guys in episode 7. Bye, guys.
Bye.